What's up, guys? Good to see you here on Grassroots Garden. As always, got my buddy Ethan the Pond Dude here from Amen Corner Ponds, and today we're going to be doing a koi pond clean out. Now, Ethan, this thing doesn't look too bad as it is right now. Yep. But I've always wanted to capture this on film because it is such a drastic change when you do a clean out. I mean, the after results are just absolutely incredible.
Oh, it's night and day. It really is. And the time lapse is like the perfect way to capture it, because you see it, that water slow down, you see those rocks revealed and just kind of the biofilm that's on the rocks. Yep. You see it get wiped away by the pressure washer, and then you start to see the mud kind of get kicked up in the dirt.
It's so satisfying. At the end result, it's just crazy. I love it. Now, how often do we clean out a koi pond? Like if this was in my backyard, do you have to clean them out, or what's the reason behind it?
Yeah, first thing that kind of determines it is the filtration, depending on what kind of filtration you have. Right. So if we have a large wetland filter, then maybe it's not quite as important to drain the entire pond, because most of actually that growth and that bacteria will happen up in the wetland filter. Okay. On this particular one, we have a simple biofalls, which again keeps it looking amazing. Right. But makes us have to make sure we get that clean out. So once a year is best. We sometimes will do this twice a year just to make sure it's always looking fantastic being here in the full sun and everything. So that's what we do for this pond, but once a year is the important one. Once in the springtime, right? All of that debris that is kind of settled in there from winter, broken down, that's going to be when it's most important to get that out of there, get it cleaned and all ready for new season. Gotcha.
So now we've got a biofalls, as Ethan mentioned here. So that biofalls is kind of buried up there in the beginning of the waterfall, and that's the filtration system for this type of pond. But you can do a wetland too, which is a more natural approach to it, and that wetland kind of helps to further filter out the contaminants and dirt and stuff. So
basically your biofalls is simply, almost think of like a trash can or something. It's kind of circular shape. That water comes in and it kind of swirls, and it has a sedimentation chamber in the bottom to get all the silts and sands to settle. Yep. And then anything fine will go up through filter pads. It'll flow up through those. Then it'll go up through lava rock, which is where all your bacteria is starting to grow and everything, and then it'll start off our waterfall. Gotcha. So in the same sense, a wetland filter will do the same thing. It's just on a grander scale. So like the smallest wetland filter we'll do is like 5 by 6 and 4 foot deep. Okay. Entirely full with different size aggregates of stone, getting all the way to small. Very cool. So the whole thing becomes just a natural, basically filter. Doing the same thing. So. And we use beneficial bacteria in this pond as well. So we've got an injector over here, and that will automatically dose the beneficial bacteria. So no chemicals used in this entire process. And I tell you, I'm a firm believer in it. We've had this pond in what, 3 going on 4 years or something? 4 years. Yeah, and it stays beautiful, I mean, year round, just using that beneficial bacteria. And I love it because there are no harsh chemicals. Yep. The fish have done great, and the pond is just a huge attractant for customers coming in here, man. Yeah, I mean, and that's what we want. I mean, there's all the time. I have my customers send me photos. I'm out here all the time. There's other customers, their kids are trying to get in there with the fish, walking around the waterfall. So it's safe, it's a healthy way, it's great for the environment to do it. And one of the great things about doing it naturally with beneficial bacteria, when this water evaporates, it actually goes back up into the atmosphere, and it's good water. It's good, clean water. If you've got pool water that does the same thing, that's not healthy once that evaporates, and so that hurts our ecosystem. I love the natural approach behind it, man. I'm excited to get this thing cleaned out. The fish probably aren't too excited about it. They're gonna go through a little transition phase today, but what the guys are gonna do, we got the pump just put in here a few minutes ago. We'll pump all the water out, and then you've got a big tote, like a storage tote kind of thing, where we put the fish. So they'll just have to hang out for a little bit, then the guys will get in here, pressure wash this thing down. Just wait till you see here in just a few hours the transition from what it is now to what it's gonna be. It's gonna be cool. Awesome. All right. Who's gonna be our fish catcher today? Is that gonna be you, Dion? You fish catcher? Yes, sir. All right. Oh, this is cool, man. Yeah. That works out great. It folds up, you just throw it in the back of your truck. Yeah, this is the lifesaver for sure. We gotta order about 2 more of these things, because this has been amazing to have these. Yeah, that's handy. Yeah. Ethan, you say you want this one over in the shade, buddy? Oh yeah. I can drag it over there. Are both pumps on now, Ethan? Yeah. Okay. Things should pump down pretty quick then. Oh yeah. And then I guess you let the water get down a little bit, and then we'll jump in and grab the fish out? Yeah, that last layer, once the water's kind of down to there, where we can kind of get in, and that way they can't just swim to unlimited places. Right. And we'll get in there with our sock net and scoop them up and hand them out. It'd be funnier though if we send Dion in now. Yeah, yeah. It would also be a much longer process.
It would. Now, I guess an important thing too, Ethan, so we want to use the pond water to house the fish temporarily. We don't want to just take a hose pipe because we're on city water.
Correct.
They might not fare too well. One, the temperature is going to be pretty cold.
Yeah.
And you've got some chemicals, I assume, you know, in city water. So
yeah, exactly.
Safest bet to just use the water that they're in currently.
Yeah, yeah, especially if you've got a pond that, again, the water is great. We can utilize as much of this water to start back filling again.
Okay.
That way that adjustment process is very slow. But the other thing that we'll do is the water that they're put in, we'll actually add some hose water to it throughout while we're cleaning. Yeah. Just to slowly adjust that temperature. So that when we put them back in, they're pretty much ready to go.
Won't go into shock. And I guess, you know, we got all our beneficial bacteria in this water too, so we're just simply going to re-inoculate that back into the clean water and clean pond. I think we're actually going to put the fish in this one because we've got it under the shade of this big oak over here. So they got one of the pumps ran to this tote, put the fish in here, and just store excess water as we just talked about over there in the big blue tote. What can I help you do, Bubba?
Oh, I'm just checking the stream. They clean this out.
Yeah, the stream. Sure. Yeah, let's go check out the stream. So I don't know, I can't remember if I showed it on the video the other day or not, but the Amen Corner Pond team came down and cleaned our dream stream out. It looks incredible. Don't it look good?
Oh, that's good again.
Yeah. I just, man, the sound over here. I mean, I could just pitch me a hammock in between them trees right there and just chill out here all day long. It's so nice and cool. But yeah, look at how clean the rock came, man. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, incredible.
They did a great job. Another thing that you did that I love, I wouldn't have thought of using the sweet potato vine over here, but it looks cool. Yeah, it just kind of cascades right into the water. Yep. I love it.
Yeah, and this one and that one over there are actually planted directly in the water too.
Oh, really?
Right
straight in the water.
Yep, the green one and that one are out. But that red one and the red one over there are both just directly right in the water.
In the water. They're loving it.
Yeah, they're doing great.
I kind of hate to see fall time coming, which we're fall now, but it's gonna be what, 95 degrees today or something crazy.
It doesn't feel like fall, that's for sure.
It does.
I'm still sweating.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, man. They did a great job on this thing.
I love seeing this thing cleaned up every time. Yeah. And just it's thriving so well.
Well, the customers come down here too, and they're like, "Holy cow, who did this?" You know, because I mean, it's phenomenal. And every time I come down and film in this area, I'll just say the same thing over and over. Like, it's just absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's just it turned out like way beyond my expectations.
Yeah, and then Dave's planting around it, like it feels so natural here. It really does.
And this area looked just like that in the woods right over there before Ethan and his team got started. I mean, the transition is just, it's like you picked this thing up out of the mountains and just plopped it right here. Yeah. Awesome job, guys.
Yeah, I came to show a customer the other day.
Yeah.
And we'd come around this way, and I was telling her about this little curve. So she was looking this way, and she was like, "Oh, it's amazing." And I was like, "Yeah," and then, you know, it goes under and starts back over here. And she didn't even see this over here. She was like, "Whoa!" She was like, "That's so cool."
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. It just disappears underground. Goes down to the little seating area down there. Now, Ethan, when this grows up, this is going to be a really cool spot. And I mean, it's doing really well with the jasmine growing up the fence and all the plantings that Dave has done. We've got, I believe he put a cherry in the corner over there,
which has done incredible.
It's really grown.
I'm amazed at how quickly it's grown the size it has.
But wait till it gets big, everything else gets a little bit mature. That thing's got those beautiful pink flowers on it in the spring. I mean, the place is already gorgeous, but you give it a couple years to mature a little bit, and this is going to be, I mean, something you see at like a botanical garden or a zoo.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Already, like just the softness of the plants have just softened the place up, and it's so quiet back here and peaceful. It's really cool.
It's coming together, ain't it? All right, catch us some dinner, Dion. Let's see what the koi whisperer can do today.
Yeah, that's my favorite one right there.
And Cameron's gonna be the runner. All right, here you go, buddy. You chill out over here for just a little bit. We'll get your house all cleaned out and put you back.
Yeah, that one. He's awesome.
The white one?
No, the one you're about to get.
Oh yeah, the one with the orange and black?
Yeah, really solid orange black.
Oh, I like that net. I see it's open at the bottom.
Yeah, so they can swim out.
Yeah, that's easy.
The way that they went in.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other nets. You don't have anything, you don't have a way for them to swim out. The gills get stuck, right?
Oh.
And so then you put them back in, and they might have a little blood. It just stresses them out more.
Yeah,
So
that's
we can put them in and then just kind of release them back out the same way. It's pretty easy.
That's pretty smart. Nicely done, sir.
Well, and the large sock part of it too allows us to do extremely large fish inside of the same net.
Yeah.
All the way down to little guys, and so we can just make sure that they just simply swim out. Easy peasy.
Who would have thought you'd want a net with a hole in the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And you probably paid good money for for that net with a hole in it.
Yep. You know, it's like everything is going that trend now. You got jeans with holes in them, nets with holes in them,
Yeah,
a little bit of everything.
Everything. As long as we don't have any liners with holes in it, we'll be okay.
You should have seen the fish we had to get out last week with this net.
Oh yeah, he was a monster.
Oh man.
At least like what, 15 pounds?
He was at least as long as the net.
Wow.
It took, every bit of that net, he was inside of it. It was huge.
That's got to be a pretty stressful part of y'all's job, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, the people, these are their pets.
Yeah.
The smaller ones are not bad. It's the big ones that's like scares us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could understand.
When they start to get the moving in this
Start
net,
dancing.
Oh man.
I had one, and I'll have to send you the picture if I can find it. And it wouldn't fit in any of our nets.
Yeah.
And I had to carry that thing like this. It was like this long.
Wow.
And
Like-
I was like, oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
And he was a dark color too. And so I'm in the pond, and it was a nasty pond.
Yeah.
And he bumps up against me in the middle. I couldn't see anything.
Oh.
And I'm like, something big
Something
is
big's in here.
I was hoping it was a koi.
Now, speaking of like different creatures, you know, I hate snakes. I'm petrified of them. How many do y'all run into with these ponds? I mean, you have to run into some, I'm sure, right?
It's probably not as many as you would think. We maybe see what?
I've
7 or 8
seen
a
one
year?
since April.
Okay,
Yeah,
one since April.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
not bad.
I was gonna say I see him actually more on the pathways, like in the gardens,
Right.
around ponds. You don't see too many in it.
I'm looking around now that we're talking
Now that
about
we're
it.
talking about it.
I do worry about sticking my hand down and encountering like a water moccasin or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or-
yeah. I've never found a water moccasin in a pond.
No?
A counterpart of mine in Colombia has sent me a couple snapshots and some skimmers where he's like opened the lid and there's been like a rattlesnake like sitting on top of the basket.
No,
but,
sir.
Yeah, I'm like,
not
that
me.
Be it. I'd be out of there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll know if I see one because I'll be screaming like a woman and I'll be running.
There you got him.
So we bought the first couple koi. I think I got them from
Next Day Koi.
Yeah, Next Day Koi. It was
Yep.
online. They shipped them in an airplane down to us, and then customers have given us the rest. I think, Devin, you put a couple in here.
Yeah. We put I think 3 or 4 in here now.
Okay.
Some of the little bit bigger guys, and actually we didn't see hardly any of the little ones for the longest time, but once we put the bigger ones in, they felt a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
Then they started coming out and being a lot more social.
Now, will they breed in a pond like this, or what? Do you know?
Yeah, yeah.
They can?
So they will. You have a couple of determinations, obviously, whether you have male or female.
Yeah.
So that you can have babies. Another thing is they need like a calm place away from the water movement, away from filtration, so those eggs don't get sucked up.
Right, I got
And then the final one is whether they don't eat them. A lot of
Okay.
times they'll just eat their own eggs.
Eat their own. Gotcha.
A lot of customers actually have at least eggs laid,
Uh-huh.
and you just never know it, and they just eat them before they're hatched.
Okay.
I have one
catfish.
customer.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have one customer, John's mom and dad. They have every year, without fail, they'll have babies.
Have babies.
And it's just, and you look at the pond, and you think, what's different from this pond from the next, and it just has to be just right.
Just right.
For it to work out. But
That's interesting.
some people do, some people don't. They all the time tell me, they're like, hey, have your other customers come pick up the babies, like, you know, 'cause we'll have too many.
Too
pretty
many
soon, so,
koi.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Would you say hiding areas affects the amount of eggs that are laid and
It doesn't necessarily affect it, but they do need an area where
they feel safe?
it's away from the main flow and filtration of the water.
Okay.
So
Now, Ethan, are you going to do anything with the plant life in the pond on this fall clean out, or is that more spring?
We are going to wait because we are going to be hosting a fall seminar.
Gotcha.
On the trimming of fall plants and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we're going to wait on kind of doing too many of the plants. We'll do that so that everyone can kind of watch and stuff.
And learn how to do it, yeah.
Yeah. But normally we would trim the lilies and make sure that those are all kind of trimmed down. That way the root can grow and it's not trying to put forth any nutrients to the dying leaves.
Yeah.
And then we'll trim back some of the plants that, one, we know are going to die off for the winter, so that way those don't fall into the pond and decay.
Yeah.
And then second, some of them are just exploding and we want to kind of trim them back to a smaller amount so that when spring comes they can grow back big again and not outgrow the pond.
That makes sense. Well, one thing we're not going to do in the fall is fertilize. We want to wait, and that's this big springtime.
Correct.
So we've got like some water lilies down here in these aquanet pots. We'll wait until springtime to fertilize those.
Speaking of the water lilies, Aquascape has just put forth a huge effort to really bolster the water lilies within ponds.
Oh, right? Yeah? What are they got out now?
So one of the things that they're doing, and these are fantastic, these little mesh bags, but really they're too small in order to have really prolific water lilies. So they're introducing new mesh bags. They're going to be about 3 times that size.
Okay.
And then they're also releasing it almost looks like a giant pill. It's about like that big, and it's a pod, and it's a slow release fertilizer for an entire season.
Nice.
And so we'll be able to push those down in there, and I mean, we should see a huge difference next season with the water lilies. I mean, the ones at Grassroots went, or at Aquascape, went from little lilies like that to pads like that.
Wow.
I mean, just huge difference.
That's cool. I didn't know that, man. That'll be a game changer because, I mean, you're really, like during the active growing season, you're supposed to fertilize these, what, once every month or 2?
Yeah,
it's pretty often.
On maintenance visits, we try to do it like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the problem is you can't get in there to do anything with them because their roots become so hard.
Yeah.
And the market today, all they have is like little powdery pellet things, and you go to push it in, they just crumble, and it doesn't get down to the roots. So this is going to be a hard cylinder that you can mash in there.
Nice, and a
then
whole
it'll
season.
dissolve for a whole season.
That's
so
beautiful.
It's going to be a game changer. I'm really excited. They get released here, I think January.
Me too. I'm
cool.
We're gonna have to carry those because that'll save you a bunch of work, man.
Oh yeah, it'll be fantastic.
One done escaped the pot, Dion?
Yep.
Oh yeah, those rhizomes, man, they'll go. Look at there, you got a whole new water lily.
Yep.
Oh, it's slippery down here.
Yeah. Some of these rocks out of the roots.
Yeah. That'll be a good one for next year to use those pots like Ethan was just talking about.
Yeah.
Go ahead and potting it up and it'll grow and get big like his mama.
Yep. Some of these might have done it over here too.
Yeah, possibly. Let's check them out. Yeah, that rhizome will just creep on out of the bag and find a spot to root itself, and it'll create a whole nother lily, which is a great way to get more lilies in your pond because they're not cheap. And when anytime you can divide them and have more of them for free, I mean, that's the way to go. That's a healthy one there, ain't it?
Yep.
Man, that Japanese maple is my favorite thing in the whole world. That is that is called Looking Glass Falls. Awesome. It's super rare. It's the only one that I have. I need to graft to make some more of it, but the weeping habit of it is just phenomenal. I mean, as you can tell, it just grows straight down. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's even having its own little roots coming out of it.
Yep, it's doing good. I'm sorry, what did you say, Cameron? There's how many?
10 fish.
10 fish?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go check on them and see how they're doing. Hey, you little guys. Don't worry, we'll have your house cleaned up in a jiffy and have y'all back in the pond. And so now what you guys are doing is just going around and picking up all the big stuff.
All the debris, the big stuff,
by hand,
so once we go to rinse, it won't clog up the pumps.
Right.
We'll be able to just pump this dirty water out quicker.
Gotcha. And then normally what we do over here, guys, while the pond is drained down, I'll show you. So here's our strainer system. So this goes down into the box right here where the pump is that pumps it back up to the head of the pond. And so occasionally you just have to come down here, pull this strainer out, dump the leaves, and pretty much takes care of itself other than that. And then one thing that we did come in, or Ethan came in and installed, was a float pump right here because we were having trouble with the water level occasionally versus having to drag a hose over here and fill it back up. That maintains a constant water level.
Keeping it filling up.
Yep. And then too, right here you've got your overflow. So if we get a bunch of rain or something, any additional extra water will go right there, and we've just got it buried in the ground and it'll slowly drain out. Now this is the part I love right here, man. This is where the satisfaction clips come in, man. To seeing that pressure washer go on these old dirty rocks. Let's get it started. Dion, those are all the filters, right? That's in the biofalls that me and Ethan were talking about earlier.
Yeah. We take these out. Most of the time, if we're doing fall clean outs and we don't have our pressure washer, we'll just wash them out with the hose.
Right.
And that should be sufficient for us to get them clean. But the pressure washer helps out a lot more because it gets them really nice and clean.
Really
like
clean.
Brand new.
Gotcha. So Cameron, y'all just use a regular old shop vac to clean out the housings?
I tell you what, if you need a recommendation on a shop vac,
yeah,
it is that one.
That's the one to go with. What is that, rigid?
Yes, it has been in so many ponds, sucked up so many muck. It's a trooper, it really is.
Okay.
It's served us well, but yeah, that's what we use when we get down where the pump can't suck up any more of that muck.
Yep.
And it gets too thick, and we'll just suck it out with the vacuum and then tip the vacuum out.
Gotcha. And y'all did the biofalls up there too with the vacuum.
Correct, yeah. So there's always sludge that accumulates in both of these baskets.
Right.
That always needs to be sucked out at the bottom.
Gotcha.
So.
All right, well, I'll keep that in mind. A rigid shop vac.
Rigid shop vac, yep.
Okay.
It's been out in the rain.
Well, yeah. Well, y'all should know in this line of work what's going to hold up and what isn't.
Oh, yeah.
So you done with pressure washing now?
Pressure washing.
Now you just rinse?
Now we just rinse.
Okay.
Try to get all that nasty water, nasty muck we got off the rocks.
Yeah.
Filter pads all down into the center of the pond.
Yep.
The pump just gonna pump it out that way.
Well, you got half of it on your face still.
Yeah.
All right, that'll turn this pump on, and then Dion can start the wash down. With that much water, it should go pretty quick out there.
Yeah. Usually it takes a little while if it's more closer to the plant, because that's where most of all the nutrients and all where it builds up that dirt. Right there is that.
All those roots kind of hang on to everything.
Yep.
Man, it's gonna look so much better. It didn't look bad to begin with, but anytime y'all get done with the clean out, the results are just awesome.
Oh yeah, best part of the job when it's finished.
And then it'll flow down there, and then we're getting rid of this water. We're wasting this because this is the junk we don't want in there. So it'll all run right back down there, pump it out, and we'll just let it go out into the nursery. And the plants help to clean the water too, don't they, Dion?
Yep.
And roots, they just kind of suck up all that.
Suck up all that bad nutrients. Well, not bad nutrients, but the bad fish waste and all that. Right. That's what helps them grow.
Right, that's fertilizer for the plants, and then they in turn help filter the water.
Yep. Now that's all nice and clean.
They're looking much better already.
Yeah.
And guys, how long can the fish stay in that little container over there? I mean, obviously you want to minimize that time, but is there like a rule of thumb?
We've had fish in there for up to a week,
Really?
a week, yeah.
Wow.
But with an aerator.
With an aerator. I was going to
okay.
say, as long as you're aerating the water and making sure that they've got air and with flow, and out of direct sunlight too.
Yeah, keep them in the shade, keep them cool.
Yeah.
But they'll be fine for a few hours.
Like, as we clean it
without aeration. It's amazing how much stuff settles, but I mean, you got all the fish in here, all the plant life. You got it's a whole living ecosystem in here, so all that stuff accumulates up.
Plus the pressure of the water that's having us wash it down is helping bring all that stuff up.
Right, bring it to the surface and float it out. It's looking way more better though.
Oh yeah.
We'll walk down this way, make sure we're not washing the road out. So this mulch is kind of helping slow it down a little bit before it makes it out here to the gravel road. And then we're just kind of letting it go on down into the nursery. Not going to hurt a thing at all. So here's some of the fish caves that guys at Amen Corner Ponds installed for us. So these are just little nooks where the fish can get up to and feel protected. And I guess if they were going to breed or do something like that, they would probably go up in a little area like this. That's cool. I love how like the log is laid across it too. I mean, everything just looks so natural. It's beautiful. Got some little baby cattails even down here. Use the trash bucket.
Kind of move some of this gravel out the way to give it some
some
Give
flow.
it a little, yeah.
And you're not going to get everything out.
No.
I mean, it's not. In fact, you want some of it left in here too, because that contains a lot of your, you know, your microbes and beneficial stuff.
Yep.
What you doing here, Mr. Cameron?
Oh, just trying to get this plate back down to the bottom here.
Okay. So in this end, you just got a plate, and then this filter, and then your skimmer box.
Yeah, a very coarse filter. It's just for trapping, you know, large leaves.
Big debris.
Yeah, mulch. I mean, really, this is not for holding bacteria.
Right. Yeah. It's just strictly a filter to get out all the stuff that blows in the pond.
Correct. Yeah.
So Dion, you were saying once your water gets clear down here in the bottom, then you know that's when it's washdown is complete, huh?
Yes, sir.
Then we'll start filling her back up, putting the fish back. It looks good though, guys. There's a big difference already. It's amazing, you know, how much stuff will build up.
Yep.
Over a few
you
months.
look what came out of the bucket even.
Oh yeah, and we got
the bucket.
Yeah, and we got a couple buckets over there.
Yeah, so I mean, as clean as this pond looked and stuff, you'll pull out a decent amount of debris, and all that can break down over time and turn into nitrogen. And with too much nitrogen, then your bacteria doesn't work so well. So that's what's so important about getting it cleaned up.
Necessary.
Yeah.
Necessary to do it. Time to fill it back up.
I'll just put it in the bag with it, okay? Yep.
All right. Gonna plant that one back in there with his mama for the time being. It's gonna go dormant soon anyway, and then in the springtime, it'll be time to bump them up into bigger pots anyway.
Yep.
And we can separate that guy and make us a whole new water lily. Can't leave you alone for 5 minutes and you're over here playing with a hose pipe.
Oh yeah.
Trying to get them accustomed to a little bit cooler water.
It's pretty close in temperature. It's just ever so slightly a little cooler. So I'm gonna give them a little bit. Let this sit in here. I'll do it probably one more time before we put them back in.
Let them adjust a little bit.
Yep, and then adjust them back. So. Hey, this is how I grew up. My parents, they had a well, they had a farm. And my mom's the one who got me started in it, but she would just turn we had a small slope with just, it was clay and mud and stuff like that. Turn it on at the top and just let me dig stuff out and make these little channels, and I had a blast doing it. So
you were the pond dude before you knew you were the pond dude.
My mom takes full credit for it. She's like, yeah, I got him into this for sure.
That's awesome. That's a cool story, man. I was wondering how you got into it.
Yep.
Ever since you were little.
Ever since I was little.
Yeah, these guys are kind of encroaching. On our pitcher plants. They kind of go wild, these elephant ears will.
Oh, they're great and they're fantastic for the pond and the ecosystem, but man, will they just go everywhere.
They'll take over.
They're little tubers
and this
clump, so fast.
This clump of the pitcher plant is the prettiest thing ever.
It is.
In the springtime. It has beautiful red flowers. I've shown it in some past videos, but beautiful red flowers on it, and it is it's breathtaking, really. These things really get in there.
Oh yeah, I mean, you see all these tubers, like that's what it is. They're just running and growing.
Doing their thing.
Yep.
Just in the wrong spot.
Yeah. You want to see some roots.
If you can pull it up, don't hurt your back. That one's in there, dude. I have to rock it.
Ooh. Well, I want to try to get all these roots if I can. I'm going to try to keep wiggling it.
Oh yeah, look at that matting.
Yeah, but I mean, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, that's a natural filter.
Yeah, that's fantastic for your ecosystem. That's great. It's going to eat up a bunch of nutrients. So, I mean, it's good. You just got to make sure you don't let it go too crazy.
Get out of control.
Yep.
What's that stuff there you putting in?
Pond detoxifier and ammonia neutralizer.
Pond detoxifier and what?
Ammonia neutralizer.
Ammonia neutralizer. Okay.
We're just making sure we remove all the chlorine, any contaminants that could potentially be in the water and kind of hurt them. So the detoxifier detoxifies it for a number of different things.
Okay.
And then the ammonia neutralizer, within the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of different municipalities have started adding like a pure ammonia into the water to keep the pipes clean and stuff. Like, I get it, but it can be really toxic. So we add a separate one that just focuses on the ammonia to make sure that we remove that as well. So.
Okay, I did not know that. You can put any of these plants down here, man. They get those roots into the water.
Oh, and they're good.
And like, we really don't want that one there because he's down in the pitcher plant.
That is one thing that interests me, is this pitcher plant has done so well.
Yeah.
And it's quite large.
Yeah.
But I can pull this thing up at any point, like
Yeah,
just
the whole thing.
right up, the whole thing. It like the roots do not go very deep.
They don't
really kind of continue to grow.
Yep.
Where like you see us pulling these elephant ears up, they're pulling rocks and different things with them. And this thing, like if I give this a tug, you can see that whole pitcher plant
wants to
trying
come
to
up.
move. So we're
Yeah,
gonna try to get this guy out of here.
Yeah, if you can.
Without. I'm gonna step on it a little bit.
Yeah, kind of just have to. There you go.
That whole thing was about to come up.
It was trying to, the whole pitcher plant was.
Did you want the whole thing coming out?
No, not the pitcher plant. It would have come up, no problem.
And it'll be fine, because it's just a true bog plant, so it just wants its roots right in the bog. The trick that I found with the pitcher plants is it wants wet feet but dry ankles.
Yeah.
So it wants to be sitting in a bog, but it doesn't want to be covered in water,
Yeah.
or it will die.
A lot of your marginal plants are that way.
Yeah.
They're gonna want, you know, like you said, just to be barely in there.
Yeah.
Just enough so the roots can go find water. That's it.
Yeah, you plant these too deep and it's for sure dead.
Yeah.
A little goldfish.
Is he a goldfish?
I think he,
Crossbreed. Like kind of a half and half.
a goy.
A goy.
A goy, I like it.
I didn't know you could get half an hour.
Yeah, if you've got a lot of goldfish, it's crazy enough. You may not have any koi, but if you've got goldfish and koi, you're almost for sure to get a crossbreed.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, that's a crossbreed. You can tell it's got like the body of a goldfish and standard look. It hasn't really grown any bigger, but that tail and its fins all have more of the look of a koi.
Similarities.
Yep.
That's interesting. Learn something new every day.
Every day.
Got him. Nicely done, sir.
Yeah, don't let it stress them out too much.
Nope. The house is all clean now, buddy.
Let's try and get you, big guy.
Come on, Goldie.
The big ones normally don't give us as much trouble. They're quite docile. They like to swim in.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Nice slippery.
That's my favorite one there.
Yeah, he's
That
cool.
color on that is awesome.
He's got the nose fins as well.
Yeah, look, like eyelashes.
Yeah.
There you go, Goldie.
This white one has like to take a leap every time.
Does he? He's a jumper.
Yep, you watch, he'll... Yeah, he's a... Yeah, don't do it. Don't do
Don't
it.
jump, buddy.
Yeah, I knew it.
He's like a mullet.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll show you.
Oh,
Can't catch me. There you go. You got him.
there we go.
Nice. Couple more left. That one's beautiful too, though.
Do you think these might be siblings or a parent?
So that one right there, the one with black and orange, I believe he's one I ordered from that next day koi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's not a butterfly koi.
No.
I know this bigger one is right there.
Yeah.
That is a butterfly, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be butterfly. This would be considered standard, both of these.
Standard, okay.
Which, for show quality and stuff,
Yeah.
they will not consider this even a high quality koi.
Oh.
Really?
Even with how beautiful they are, it's not pure.
Huh.
And so only standard koi would be considered show quality.
I didn't know that.
Which is crazy because anyone who has a pond for the hobby
Yeah.
wants the butterfly. 'cause
butterfly.
they're gorgeous, and I mean you can see why. They're stunning.
Just not as refined, or?
Yeah, they're just not pure.
Right.
It's mixed with something else in order to get that. So anytime you've got a fish that's maybe like having a hard time, what will happen is these koi will lose like a slime layer on them. And so you can feel them when they're overstressed.
Yeah.
They're almost like sticky as you like go to feel them.
You want that slime on them. That's their protective film.
Exactly. And so sometimes if there's been a koi that, you know, on one of our tanks has jumped out during a clean out or stuff, I'll come back and actually put a salt into the pond.
Okay.
And that will help build that slime layer back up
and protect them. Yeah, we used to do that like in an aquarium.
Yeah, it's the same
Mom
idea.
would pour some type of slime building salt in there.
Yeah, same thing.
Does he look okay? He's got a bit of a scaly, weird looking scales.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fine. It's just his coloring. He's got some interesting coloring on him.
He's shiny.
Some of the white ones have, like, you'll see this like brown, and some of it can be previous damage, but it's not on the surface anymore, and so he's okay.
Could be just like pigment.
Yeah, it could be. Sometimes if something has gone after them, which we did have problems with that early on, with some of the small ones. If there's any sort of like scratches, it can scar.
Yeah.
But then as they get bigger, it's basically like us, like our skin layers get like thicker and grow over those things.
It's just a scar.
Yeah, and because he's a white or almost like a clear, you can see further into him, where solid orange, you probably wouldn't see that on him.
Wouldn't notice it as much. All right, butterfly.
This guy, I really want him to swim in straight, because it's about his fins getting bent is what's...
He's like, well, I will not cooperate.
Yeah.
Go up.
I actually kind of like it in here.
Oh, I thought you had him.
There you go.
There you go. You got him that time.
So what you can do, Cameron, if you want to, like, make sure of that, right? When he's in here, while he's still in the water, you can get him to a point where he's flat.
Right.
And then pick him up.
Point in the right direction.
Sometimes he's gonna move on you, but
of course.
you do your best you can to keep him in that kind of horizontal.
It's easy to let them out when you got that the open net right here.
Yeah, that net's money, man. I like that.
To keep flipping them to get them out.
Yeah.
You know, it's just let them just ride on out.
Slide right out. That's nice. All right, everybody's back in their nice clean pond now. You can kind of see they're just grouped down in the bottom there. They just got to get reacquainted to their surroundings, but this is their home and they know that. In a few minutes, I'm sure they'll be traveling around a little bit, and we'll feed them up this afternoon and they'll be good to go. Now, Ethan, when will you go ahead and turn the pump back on in the waterfall?
We should be able to do that within 30 minutes.
Couple minutes,
so.
okay.
Yeah. The only thing I was gonna ask is, do you want to light it up?
You know I do.
I got lights with me.
Do
we
you?
could light it up
Hell
now.
yeah, let's light it up.
All right, let's do it then.
Okay. That's a dumb question, man. You know I love cool stuff.
It will be, I mean, when you light up a pond, you get two ponds.
Yeah.
You get a totally different looking one at night.
Oh, I'm excited.
Angles, you see, I mean, just, it's cool.
Heck yeah, let's do it. Oh wow, you do have some lights, don't you, buddy?
Oh yeah. We got all three different kinds.
Yeah.
So we've got our standard 3-watt spotlights. So this is going to be most of the time what we'll use down in a pond.
And you'll submerge those as they actually go down.
These are actually submergible lights. So you can see 3-watt lights. We can kind of wedge them into rock work and just kind of blend it into the wall.
Yeah.
They'll come with different stands. So we can drop this guy on.
Oh, very cool.
Drop him onto the back, and we can either do a stake to go directly into the ground, so we want to light up a light or something near the pond. Or you can do a stand, which would be this here. So say we've got an area in the pond, we can put that on there, and it'll raise it up a little bit and kind of keep it pointed to a certain area.
Okay.
So it just depends on the application. We can do any one of the three, but that would be our standard in the pond light. That's going to beam us maybe 5 or 6 feet into the pond. We also have a 6-watt that we don't use as much because obviously you just about double your penetration strength into there.
And you don't want it like shining like Las Vegas. I mean, you just want a nice ambient.
Exactly. So we use 3 watts for the most part. Next one we have would be our 1 watt, and this is what's called an uplight. So an uplight has a platform to make sure that it maintains just a constant upward, even with water flowing around it and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So what we can do is we can put like all our rock and gravel around it, and it'll point straight up. So this is perfect for your waterfall.
I like that.
So that's what a lot of times we'll do for waterfalls, or there's certain areas sometimes in the pond we'll put something. If we've got like maybe a spillway water coming like right in, and we'll like light up all those bubbles or something.
I bet that's beautiful.
Super cool. And
these are, you know, I mean, that's 1 watt, so you're burning like
there's
no
yeah.
electricity.
Yeah, these are all LEDs. They're all low voltage. This is like as cheap of an upgrade as far as electrical as you can get. Like there's nothing impactful about this.
And it's just plug and play.
Yeah, it really is. Cameron, he's done electrical work before for us, so he can get really creative and custom with how we do it. And then we simply have a 1 watt spotlight. So if we want to highlight something kind of smaller or unique, or we want a softer light, the other thing we'll do with these is we'll put these in the stream bed, so you kind of light up part of the stream bed itself. So these are the 3 that we'll use to kind of light it up. We'll use a variety of each, probably 3, 2, and 2, and we'll get this thing looking amazing. And the coolest part is it'll do a light show up above us on the tree canopy.
I'm sure.
At night, it's amazing.
You know, Ethan, I would think that this would be, you know, relatively inexpensive. This would be a huge bang for your buck type thing to add to the pond.
Yeah, we tell people all the time, it's like, if you've got a job, you're gone all day.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you're going to enjoy that pond is at home,
evening
time, you're spending some time. This will extend how far you can enjoy it. And if you're out there, you know, sipping some wine or something, or a beer, as that turns on, you go from one pond to just a completely different one,
atmosphere.
And it's so cool.
That is awesome. I'm excited, man. Those lights are going to be so cool. I didn't even know he had those, but we are missing a transformer, so we're going to run to Lowe's real quick, grab a transformer, come back and hook up our lights. Let's see, let's try landscape lighting. Should be somewhere in here. Here we go, 200 watt transformer. That's what we need right there. We good to go now. All right, appreciate you. Here you are, Mr. Cameron. Excellent. 1 transformer, sir. Last one they had.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, they had 1 in stock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got lucky. Oh yeah, the fish done got used to their clean house now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so what's first, Ethan?
Well, I've just kind of decided where we want the lights.
Yep.
So a few things that you always want to consider is like where obviously it's going to be pointing. You don't want to be walking up and it just hits you right in the eyes, things like that. So we've decided we're going to put one kind of in here, kind of hitting off into that corner over there.
Nice,
so it'll be down in the water, lighting up that side.
Okay.
We're going to do one right over here, kind of by Cameron.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Kind of lighting up this kind of area in this area, and then I'm going to do one kind of tucked up under that log, kind of beaming out, which will be really cool.
Up in the little fish cave.
So those are the ones we're going to work on in the pond itself, so that'll light up most of that.
Okay.
We're going to do one right up underneath the main waterfall. That's going to highlight all those bubbles and just give it a really cool agitated look. And then we're going to do 2 within the stream beds themselves, just to highlight some of that moving water, and then 1 coming out of the biofalls.
It's gonna be beautiful, man.
So it's gonna look pretty cool. Again, all of those lights up there are just your 1 watts. They're gonna just be kind of faint lights, nothing, again, no light show or anything going on, but real soft and
that's gonna look
delicate looking.
That's gonna look nice, man.
It's gonna, I think it's gonna look,
I'm gonna come back down here tonight and film it, because I mean, I gotta see it. I gotta see it now.
I know, that's what I'm like. I gotta see it at night sometime. But so yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead, start hiding these. So like Dion's gonna get this in here, and we'll kind of adjust it, and it probably will be something we'll look at it at night too.
Yeah, play around with it, get the right spectrum of the right point of view for it.
Yep. And so we may see if we can kind of like work it into the gravel a little bit, just to kind of hide it down there.
All right.
And once we get it into a good spot, we want it kind of pointing that way. Then we'll hide our wire. We'll come and cut this at the edge, and then Cameron will run a single loop wire.
Oh, to feed them all.
Yep, and then we'll
off
just
of the
tie,
transformer.
Yep, we'll tie directly into
that. That's pretty simple, man.
So pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Huge difference, as you'll see, but it's going to be pretty sweet. So we'll just do that with all the lights. Go ahead, cut them, wire them up, and hook them up to our transformer. We should be good to go.
I'm excited, man. This is going to be sweet. So this is a pretty simple addition though, isn't it, Cameron?
It is, yeah. So like here, for example, where the rocks are sandwiched together, sometimes you just have to be a little bit creative and feed the wire through it.
Yep.
Most of the time you can just reshuffle rocks around, make sure you get to the near to the liner or on the liner, and then cover the rocks back over your
That's easy peasy, man.
wire. Yep.
And then you're going to run a main wire all the way around and then just tie each light to the main.
Yes, call
Simple.
it like a ring main.
Okay.
For lights, and it's just one wire that serves every light in here.
That'll be even simpler.
Yep. So you can come around the pond and you can track it and say, that's my light that's not working, and rewire that one if need be. Yes.
And then I guess you could tap onto it in the future too if you wanted to add more lights.
Yes, you can cut the wire and add more lights.
Splice right onto the main. Yeah. Okay. Dion jumped in the loader here. We're gonna bring in a little bit of mulch, kind of freshen the mulch up around the pond. Get the lights hooked up. This thing's gonna be a whole new pond here. All right, so we've got our transformer that we obviously went and grabbed at Lowe's, and then Cameron's got his 2 ring wires. So you've got one coming from this side of the pond and one coming from the other side of the pond, correct?
Correct, yeah. So I'm just going to strip both sides of these wires.
Okay.
Now we have those 2 wires. Each side will go in each opposing terminal like that.
Okay.
So minus and plus.
Gotcha.
So
and it doesn't matter which one because we're low voltage.
Exactly, yeah. So it's AC. So it alternates between each wire. It doesn't matter which way you hook it up.
Gotcha.
So at the transformer, it can be one way. At a light, it can be another way. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Yep.
And the camera in this transformer has got the photo sensor in it, right? So so when it gets dark, it'll automatically cut on.
For sure, yeah. So if the front of the transformer can see the light, then that's where you want it, and it can tell when it gets dark.
Okay, and it'll automatically kick on.
So we've got one here just lighting up the stream.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome right there. Yeah.
And bear in mind that one too is gonna reflect on these plants and that tree, and it's really gonna.
And the wind blows at nighttime. That is gonna look awesome.
We have another uplight in this stream too.
Okay.
Or fall, should I say. And then 2 small ones there and
one right here facing upstream, and that one going upstream as well. Oh, I can't wait to come back down here tonight and see it, dude.
So that will light up the shelves almost, where you have this pool of water here, and here it will...
All right, so we dug us a simple little trench right here. Got our line buried. We got Dion on the pitchfork, spreading a little bit of mulch, and we'll be about done with this project, won't we, guys?
Yes, sir.
This is gonna look so cool. So I guess in a couple hours we'll come back and check out what our lights look like. Well, you guys probably can't see me right now, obviously because it's dark, but hopefully we're gonna have some lights on in our new koi pond over here. I didn't feel like opening the gate, so we just jumped the fence and hoping we don't step on a snake on our way to the pond. And as I was saying that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my phone light just so we don't do that. Oh, wow, you guys. Holy smokes, this looks amazing. Check it out. This is like a whole new pond down here, man. Fish are just swimming around. The waterfall's all lit up over there, and I'm pointing like an idiot, even though because it's too dark for y'all to see my finger. But this is impressive. Wow, so cool. Let's go check out the waterfall. But I did have to turn my flashlight back on because now I got myself freaked out about snakes and I can't see anything around the edge of the pond. This is where some landscape lighting would come in really handy around the edge of the pond. Oh man, this is cool, you guys. So right up here, okay, now you can see my finger. This is where the waterfall starts, trickles down through there. There's the 2 lights that are kind of facing back upstream that we looked at just a little while ago. The waterfall, and then the 1, 2, 3 spotlights in the main section of the pond. What an incredible difference. No pun intended, but it's night and day. This was one of the best things that we have done down here. And just look at how the light's dancing off of this canna lily. I couldn't be happier with the way this thing turned out. Holy cow. Y'all, could you just imagine this? Being in your backyard, being able to walk right out onto your porch and look down into something like this at nighttime. I mean, you talk about impact. This relatively inexpensive addition to our koi pond is just blowing me away right now. I could just sit here and stare at this all night long. It's so cool because you can still see the fish swimming around. They kind of disappear into a little bit of the darkness and then reappear. This is absolutely breathtaking. All right, I believe I may have to have one of these at the house now because this is just too cool, man. I talk about relaxing in the evening time, just like Ethan was talking about earlier, having your glass of wine or drinking your beer. If this don't relax you, I don't know what would. Well guys, I kind of gotta light my face up with the phone. Appreciate y'all watching this video. Give it a thumbs up down there and hit the subscribe if you hadn't already done so. Go check out Amen Corner Ponds. They also have a YouTube channel. Show them a little love. They worked really hard on getting this pond cleaned out today, and I appreciate you watching. The more you know, the more you grow. I'll see you on the next video.